Good evening, folks. It's March 9th. It's in the evening. Oh, let me check the clock. Oh, it's about 10 minutes till 10. Pretty late in the evening. I had a very good nap late this afternoon, and slept deeply. Slept good last night. I haven't made a long video in quite a while. I don't even remember how long it's been. Close to half a year, actually. Why? Why have I not made any videos? Well, quite simply, the phone memory was chalked up. And at that point, I was hoping to get some backup going and offload these videos to save them, archive them. But I realize that nothing that I've said matters that much. And there's nothing that I can't do again or say again. Except if YouTube does quash the channel, all that stuff is gone. It's up there. But that's okay. I am going to call this R1 with the intention of putting it up on Rumble. You're tuned in to Doc Kent 3339. 3339 was the number of my psychologist license granted by the state of Arizona, which I successfully retired upon them, and I'm pretty sure they're butthurt over it because I pulled myself out of their jurisdiction. They weren't nice people. The state is totally corrupt. And I can tell you that at least $1 million a year goes every year from the Department of Corrections into the governor's personal coffers. It's been an institution, such an institution that I'm pretty sure they forced the governor to take that. And that's got to be the minimum it is every year. It probably is quite a bit more than that. You see, you're never going to be able to find out because the state legislature has no control over the Department of Corrections. The way it was set up, they become a miserable entity unto themselves, and it is a criminal organization. Hence, my name, D.O.C. Kent. And you will see that the D.O.C. and the letter K are capitalized. K, first letter of my last name. DOC, Department of Corrections, which sometimes has been called ADOC and ADC. As my friend, colleague, and psychologist who helped train me has told me, don't do the right thing in the wrong place. And that's what I did. I thought the rules, the laws, the criminal statutes, the Arizona revised statutes, federal laws, common sense, common law, I thought that mattered. I was naive. I had no idea how frickin' corrupt we were, and I still don't know. It is much worse than you or I can imagine. It is so big we cannot wrap our minds around it. So don't bother to try. The Bible is very, very explicit on this. Thou shalt not major in evil. Basically, Yahweh, Creator, Father, God of the universe, does not want us studying evil. He wants us to be naive and innocent. And that's part of the problem. Because by being naive and innocent, we don't recognize where danger is. We don't recognize the danger we are in. However, this whole thing was set up for us to live it and do it and be in it in relationship with Yahweh, not at a distance, not like it is now where we've turned our backs on Him, and He certainly is turning His backs on us. This last generation is passing away. Once it's gone, all hell's going to break loose. That's the principle in the Bible we got from studying it carefully, is that while the current generation is alive, the judgment does not occur. It's the following generation that gets judged. And in the case of whatever you want to call this country, because there's 4 different corporations entitled United States of America. Whatever you want to call this country, we are going to be judged harshly, and the fall is going to be tremendous. It's all been spelled out in the Bible, and the sad fact is you keep yourself ignorant of it, and you judge yourself unworthy because you don't bother to read it. When we were founded, our founders all read the Bible, including those who were agnostic, including those who just didn't want to believe in it at all. They too had the Bible as their first book, their English primer. It's the book we all use to learn our language. I sell the best copy of the Bible, the most modern version today, the most accurate version available in the English language. You will see that link, and when you take it, you'll see my name, Kent, K-E-N-T, in the address line. If that's in the address line, I have been assured you are finding the lowest prices anywhere. Do I make something off it? Oh yes, I get a small commission, a little stipend on it. Have I sold many Bibles? No, I have not. I've actually received probably more in gifts than I have earned commissions on Bible sales. Is that a reflection upon the Bible? Oh, hell no. That's a reflection upon me, maybe. Our society, certainly. But as this crunch time comes on and as things get worse, you're going to be desperate and you're going to turn in desperation. And there is no better version of the Bible. My ancestor brought you the King James 1611 Bible. It is not up to par. It does have the Spirit. It's an excellent Bible, but it's not very accurate, and there were some traps and pitfalls placed therein, especially at the orders of King James. How do you think we got the book of James? He wanted something named after himself. And in case you're wondering, King James was a wicked man. In the introduction to one of his books, Charles Dickens wrote 4 pages about this pedophile, murderer, all the other stuff that this king was. It was all horrible. And he followed Queen Elizabeth, who my relative was closely related to. And that remains a mystery in the English-speaking world. I have been hot on the trail trying to solve that. However, I don't have a copy of the family genealogies. I've asked for a copy of it since I am the oldest surviving Kent. And the Kents brought this country a lot, but we aren't done yet. I want to bring you your republic back again. You think it's a tall order. I think it's going to happen. It's either that or you get your asses nuked. That's all there is to it. And you deserve that. If you read the Bible carefully, it will tell you Yahweh regards us as he did Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbors. And there's even a description of intercontinental, worldwide nuclear war in the book of Zechariah, chapter 5. You don't have to take my word for it. You can look it up. I think the title of it was Is There Nuclear War, written in the Bible 3,000 years ago. Rex Tibor did that quite a while back, over a decade ago, in 3 parts, and recently he reissued a 1-part video on it. So he integrated it and shortened it up a bit. He did a marvelous job, excellent job, and I had to chide him though and tell him he was wrong. How was he wrong? That was 3,500 years ago, not 3,000 years ago. But still, his Bible understanding and his scholarship is excellent. It's too bad he doesn't understand the bigger picture and the truth about Israel and the truth about the Jews today in particular. It's all mixed up, folks, and the Jews have been exploited by the fake Jews. But that's another story. I'm back on the air. I want you to buy my Bibles. I want you to subscribe to my shows. I have almost 500 subscribers on this channel. I did ask to get about 500 new subscribers, particularly females, because we need the women, and the women need us, and they don't understand what's happened to them. They don't understand what's going to happen. They don't understand their place, their role. And before you get very upset about that, let me cancel that sleep mode. The phone's got a life of its own. Before you get upset with me for my sexism, you got to remember, men bring you civilization, society, all of this infrastructure. We give it to you. The culture, the peace, the laws, the relative peace in which you live. And women are the bearers of life. And if you think that's not important, wow, man, it is very important. Now, if you look me up and look at my old videos, I announced I was running for president, kind of tongue-in-cheek. But if I was grafted, I don't think I want it. I don't think I want to give my life force up serving you folks. I don't think you're worth it, to be honest. You haven't proven yourself worth it. I'm reminded of the prophet Jonah, who didn't want a thing to do with Nineveh and ran away from Yahweh. But Yahweh may yet rescue your dumbasses. Me, I'm looking at it thinking, it's hopeless. You'll never turn to Yahweh. You'll never call upon His name. You'll never sit your butt down and read the Bible so you can begin to understand. So that you'll be ready to understand what I try to tell you, what I'm trying to teach you. And you are the people of the lie. You love the lie. You love to be lied to. You love to hear smooth things. And your prophets are the perfect prophets to have some beer with. And you'd rather do that than face the truth, know the truth, and accept the truth. The United States of America, ooh, my eggs are done. We got a timer on this now. And that's about 12, 13 minutes. Because I don't want to go much over, well, I'm going to try to keep these under 20 minutes. I don't want to go much longer than that. So I got another 8 minutes to go. Of course, the bell interrupts my train of thought and throws things off a little bit. Yeah, I'm an older gentleman, and I started working on these puzzles and understanding this stuff before most any of you were born. I was approximately 4 or 5 years old when I started looking at this, wondering, why is this world so screwed up? Nothing made sense to me. The adults did not make any sense. The stuff they were scaring me about and my observations of the German people as a little boy in Germany for 3 years, man, it didn't line up with the propaganda I watched on black and white television. Yeah, we had a black and white television. It probably was a foot diagonal TV. And they played those videos of that rabid dog. Took me a long time to figure out that they were speeding up the volume, speeding up the rate, and thereby changing the pitch of his voice, making him look like a rabid dog. We weren't hearing his real voice. I got to hear a real recording of his voice one time. It was mellifluous. It actually sounded good. And believe me, to sound good in the German language takes some talent because it's not a very pleasant sounding language. The only language that sounds worse is Dutch. We swear that stuff causes throat cancer. I found out the German people were more noble than we were. They were better than we were. And I was all of 7 years old at the time. They were more sane. They were more intelligent. They were far more rational and a heck of a lot more honest. I wanted to go to the gymnasium. I wanted to go to the German schools. I wished I'd have been able to learn the German language. And prior to that, I was in a household that had Polish and French. I wish I could have been able to learn those languages and been fluent. I know French is a wonderful sounding language, but I really want to learn Polish because I don't think there's any more beautiful women in the world than Polish women. You see, your blondes aren't from Scandinavia, they're from Poland, and they're tall, and they're thin, and they're just so beautiful. That part of my family, by the way, came from a little area they're fighting over these days. You call it Ukraine. Yeah. My ancestors, my family came through Ellis Island, and they migrated through, and they came from that part of Poland that had been fought over all the time, or that part of the Ukraine, or Russia, actually, that had been fought over all of the time. I can't keep it straight. It's changed hands so many times, and I don't expect you to, except I expect you to assume that you know it all because you're told every day how great you are, how you're in the greatest country. Nobody can hold a candle to you. Nobody can take you down or take you over. I got news for you, dumbasses. The dumbass is not a region in the Ukraine. You have already been conquered. You've already been taken down. You are illegally occupied by a foreign force today. That's why things are so screwed up, and you're stuck. You can't get out of it. You certainly can't vote your way out of it, and you can't even use the cartridge box to get out of it. They're pushing for that right now. They've been wanting us to fight and go violent for years, but Americans have no more backbone, which right now is a good thing, because if we demonstrated any backbone and started going after them, it would give them the license to do what they want to us, which they're doing to us through their medical institutions anyway and everything else. This is unlimited warfare, and they're intent upon genociding North Americans. Yes, they're intent upon genociding white Caucasian peoples who are the real descendants of the house of Israel, of the 10 northern tribes. If you like what I'm covering, then do give this video a thumbs up, share it with others, and above all, subscribe. I am relegated to the dark fringes, the Ukraine, if you will, of YouTube. So I don't get many views or viewers. I've seen some pages in which it shows I've had videos that have hit over 10,000 views. Yet on other pages it shows that nobody's looked at them at all. So I can't tell what the truth is. I do know this. We love the lie, and because of that, we'll swallow anything. And we are actually a psychotic people that are very much deluded. So those of us who aren't psychotic are deluded. Deluded people think somebody's going to give me something for nothing. Psychotic people are out of touch with reality. Yeah. I'm an equal opportunity hater. The deluded ones are Democrats and the psychotic ones are Republicans. So we're going to call this at show R1. And I forget how I used to title these things up. But basically, we've had 20 minutes together, and that's about all that you need of me for the day. So get this video out there. Ladies, I got some tips from you and some biblical knowledge you really needed to survive. And we can pull this together. Yes, if you wanted to elect me your president, I would monetize labor and monetize childbirth. I know you think, man, I just want to turn you into slaves. No, I want you fulfilled. And in case you're wondering, this life is sacred. Everything about this life is sacred. And you don't get another shot at it, baby. This is it. There's nothing else like it in the entire universe. That's right. You get to live on through your children if you'd stop killing them. But a lot of you are too stupid to realize that. Don't worry, it's happened to me. I think. I'm not really sure, but that's another story. But what I'm getting at is you need to make the most of this life, because this is all you're going to get of this type. Believe me, the next stuff is completely different. And even the angels wish they could come to this one in particular. May Yahweh bless. This is R1, Dr. Kent.